Hi crafters, it's Karen, and I have a design team project for Diemond Dies. I created a mixed media layout, and I used several of the dies, including one of the newly released dies, which is this. It's called the Fancy Cloud Set, and it comes with 3 different clouds along with some raindrops and little tiny hearts that you could use, but I just used this basic cloud shape there. Really cute. And then I also used the Picket Fence die, one of my favorites. And I used the Bare Tree die, but I only used it like from here up. And I used it in pieces, and I'll show that to you in a moment. And I used the Fern die, right? That's what it's called, the Fern Leaf die. Really sweet. So I used these dies, and I created this layout. I really love this picture. It's of my husband Joe with our granddaughter Alyssa, and this is the first time she had ever been to the beach. Her mother was with us as well, but Papa took her up to the surf to see how she would react to the ocean, and she didn't like the noise. It was kind of a rough day, and the sound of the surf coming in is really loud, which made her nervous, but she likes the water. So anyway, it was fun watching her react to the ocean and the beach and watching her play with Papa. So I wanted to do something special with this photo. So I used the Seashore collection by Prima. That's my, my top page here. And then the bottom paper that it's based on is from Basic Gray, and it's just a light wood grain sheet. I thought it would be a good match to this paper and also keep my top sheet from warping. So I used some score tape to adhere this sheet, the top sheet, to the bottom. So after doing that, it distressed all the edges of my top sheet here using my Prima Distress tool, and then I went over all the edges with the Heidi Swap brown ink, and I went over all the edges of both of these papers and also the edge of my photo, and I'll show you more close-ups of the layout in a moment so that you could see the different textures. But so after that, I took my clear gesso and I went over the whole page with it. I needed to put gesso on the paper so that the paper wouldn't totally absorb the inks and the different mediums that I was going to be using. But I didn't want to cover up the color, of this sheet. I wanted, you know, I just love this paper. It's so pretty. So I used the clear gesso instead so that you could see the paper itself rather than the white gesso. So after I did that, I also used my liquid text, oh wait, before I did this, sorry. So after I did that, my idea was to mimic this photo, you know, with the sand, the surf, the ocean, and the turquoise line there before it meets the pale blue sky. So that was my idea, to kind of mimic that, and I think I did that pretty well. But so what I did, I know I created over it, but you could see the texture here to mimic the sand. And what I did was I took my modeling paste and I just spread it over about a 2-inch, you know, strip across the bottom here of the page. And I wasn't smooth about it. I kind of gave it peaks and valleys the way you would if you were frosting a cake, so that there would be more texture. And then on top of that, on top of the line of that modeling paste, I went over it here with some of the Stucco medium by Martha Stewart, and also some of the Texture Effect medium by Martha Stewart. And I wanted that to mimic, you know, the surf coming in. You know, so I wanted to make sure there was texture. So to color the modeling paste here, the sand color. I used different sprays. I used the new spray I'd picked up from your scrapbook supply, the Worn Leather by Prima. And these are beautiful to use in case you were thinking of getting them. Rhonda had them at an excellent price, which is why I picked up a few. So anyway, I used the Worn Leather. I also used the Tattered Angels Sand Glimmer Mist. That's the name of the color, sand. And I just sprayed it, and then I gave it some gold highlights with my Textures Medium by Shimmerz. And I didn't bring that out with me. I'm sorry, but you can see it kind of shimmers a little gold tone, a little bit. So after I completed, and that texture goes all the way here. After I completed that texture, that's when I used the glass beads medium, and this is like a gel medium with glass beads, tiny, tiny little glass beads in it. And this is so fun to use. So I used this stencil, the mini coral by Crafters Workshop, and I did it here and here. So that shimmer and glass-like effect that you see is the Liquitex medium. I don't know if it's coming up on the camera. I hope it is, but at any rate, I did that, and then I wanted to color it, but I wanted to keep it in sections, so I blocked off here and here, and I just sprayed with Lindy Stamp Gang Ocean Breeze Blue, which is kind of a turquoise. Whoops, sorry. And then I masked off another section and sprayed up on top with the Whale Watch Blue by Lindy Stamp Gang. And I also had spread some modeling paste up in the sky to mimic some clouds. And but then I also used the Fancy Cloud set by Diemond Dies. So I cut those out, and I cut one. Let's see, it's so hard to show. I cut one of the clouds in half, and that one you can see behind these two, and these two I raised on pop dots. And I covered it with the Textures Medium by Martha Stewart, along with some gesso. I just kind of sponged it on to create a texture. Same with this cloud too, or those two clouds. So I added those clouds. And I used my sprays, and to keep the sprays, to keep your sprays from puddling and creating mud, you let your sprays dry. You let each color dry completely before adding another spray, which is what I did. So this layout took a while because I needed to let the glass bead medium dry and the modeling paste dry, and in that way I didn't get a muddy mess. So, so then I took some of the, a Diemond Dies fence, and I had painted it with clear gesso as well, and then I stamped it with a music stamp, and I cut it in half. Let's see. Sorry. And I cut it in half. Where is it? I cut it in half so that, and I put some cheesecloth behind it so it kind of, sat up and away from the layout. And I did the other half over here. So I thought that looked really sweet. The photo itself is sitting on some cardboard for dimension. So, and there's cheesecloth behind there as well. And then for this is the Mover and Shaper Tim Holtz Sand and Sea Sizzix die with the seahorse and the sand dollar, and I just used my various sprays to create the seahorse, which is cut out of chipboard, and also the sand dollar. I used the cotton candy spray by Prima, and then I took my Bear Tree Diemond Die. Let's see, where is it? I took my Bear Tree Diemond Die and I had cut it out, and then I cut the pieces apart, like I cut this branch off and then this branch and then this branch, if you can imagine that. And I used it, I inked it up and then I used it as coral pieces sticking up from my flower cluster, if you could see that. I sprayed this one with Lindy Stamping Green Opal Oats, I believe it's called. This one I inked with pink ink, a pink coral ink. So I thought that came out really sweet. There's a piece of coral there, and I used a piece of the coral behind the seahorse with the sand dollar, and I thought that worked really well. I also used the fern dye behind my flowers, and all of my flowers are, most of them are Prima. This is Prima, 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 and then some of them are also Recollections. So I just added my flower clusters, and then I added some gesso and some of the Martha Stewart Textures effect on top of the different flowers to kind of mute the brighter colors of those flowers a little bit. If I hadn't done that, then the brightness of these flowers would have stood out much more than my photo. So I wanted my photo to stand out more. So I just love the way the texture of the ocean, or my fake ocean, came out. There's how the glass beads with the different sprays on them look. Just really sweet. The glass beads kind of reflect the colors. So I really love the way this came out, and I think I may put this one in a frame. So I'm going to leave the link to Diemond Dies below in the description box, and I'm also going to leave the link to Diemond Dies YouTube channel. And don't forget, when you shop, you could use coupon code Thanks Karen when you spend, I believe it's $35 or more, and you'll receive 10% off plus free shipping. And also, Dee has a couple of giveaways going on. One of them is called the New Subscriber Challenge Giveaway. I will leave the link to that quick video in the description box so you could see the rules. And basically, you want to get a new subscriber over to Diemond Dies YouTube channel or Facebook page, and you and the new subscriber can be eligible to win a gift certificate from Diemond Dies. So there's always something exciting, always giveaways happening with Diemond Dies. So you definitely want to subscribe to the YouTube channel to be updated. So there's my layout. I had such a good time creating this layout, playing with the different textures and mediums, and working with that photo, which I really love. So thanks so much for watching. I'm sure I'll talk to you soon. Bye.